Hello, everybody. I hope that you're doing well. We're going to start this webinar about digital Eureka, how to identify and apply to the best funding opportunities related to the industry. So first of all, what is Eureka? Let's see the agenda. The agenda for today, we will understand what is Eureka, what are the different programs associated to Eureka. That is an umbrella of lots of fundings. So we will focus on different calls linked with the issues industry that are looking for industrial projects and digital project innovative. So we'll focus on the calls that really matter for those innovative projects. Then we'll have a look at different successful stories that I can share with you. And the last point, the last section is going to be about how Argentum helps and supports companies to apply for different funding opportunities, such as all the Eureka programs. So, first of all, Eureka is what we call an intergovernmental funding. Actually, they will not directly fund the different companies, but they will be like subcontractors of different countries and assess, evaluate the proposals and projects that they're gonna receive. So for example, you have different leaders of SMEs and different types of organization can be, so it's very wide, universities, research institute, large industries, SMEs, they gather in order to create what we call a consortium. That's a group that is gonna work on a project together. So they write a proposal and then they're gonna submit to Eureka, that has a pool of evaluators. And if they think that the proposal is very innovative, um, can be can reach the market with high impact, can be very good for the European innovation pool of competitivity, then they're gonna deliver an approval. Yes, Eureka thinks that this project is worth receiving funding. However, the budget itself will come from each participant's country. So the eligibility criteria are set up by the different national funding authorities. So, for example, if you have partners that are in Israel, it's going to be Reshut Arachanut that is going to fund. If you have participants from France, it's going to be BPI France, etc. So we'll discuss it further. So just so you understand, Eureka is a big umbrella for different calls, but they're just they will only evaluate the proposal and not give funding. So what are the Eureka programs? Well, there are a few. So first of all, they are the ones that are very open topic. That's what we call bottom-up. So it means, for example, for Eurostars and for Eureka network projects, you can join with a project that is very innovative, very so market-oriented, but there is no topics, no constraints related to what you actually need to provide. So the only requirements are about the three categories that will be assessed in the evaluation. So excellence, if your project is above the competition, above what is currently happening in your market in terms of technology. And then about your business plan. If it means that Eureka is gonna check that if you actually receive the funding, you will be able to reach the market and find customers. They don't want to approve funding if you cannot make revenues out of this of the project. And the last point is about implementation. It means, do they trust that your team, your infrastructure, your capabilities, your resources, your current resources will be enough once you will receive the funding in order to actually achieve the project. So those are the criteria that they're gonna assess. And that's all for bottom-up calls. For the different Eureka clusters, it's a bit different because yes, they will assess these same criteria that I've just declared, but your project will need to be adapted to different subtopics. So if you are more interested in telecommunications, 5G, 6G, for example, um, you will be very you should go for Celtic-Next actually. For Celtic-Next, it's a very nice funding opportunity. The consortium can be from 5 partners up to 20 partners. So that's a good opportunity to find either use cases or additional technology providers to test your current project or to improve it with an additional features. So that's interesting if you if you want to meet with potential customers or future business partners. So this is about next generation communications. You have also Eureka, that is about low carbon energy. So the main criteria are going to be around how you can achieve sustainability, resilience, and those topics that are very that are at stake at European level. We have also smart. So this call is about manufacturing. So you will see lots of 3D printing, for example, projects or projects around one particular industry, how to make it more flexible, more sustainable, more efficient as well, more human-centered. Those are actually the main challenges in this matter. You also have ITR. So this one is about software innovation, but it is very, very diverse. For example, the different topics that you're gonna have are about smart health, smart mobility, smart community, and smart engineering. So in every sector that needs to have a software that is better, makes the processes and workflow go smoother. That's where you're gonna apply. And the last one is about Xecs, electronic components. So okay, not much to add. Those calls have different deadlines, so that's also something to consider. So this is for the Eureka clusters. The last one that I didn't mention until now is the InnoWide. It is actually it is a bit different because this one unlike the other ones, is a single application. So for the others, you're gonna need to always to build a consortium or to join a consortium in order to create innovation and create a partnership for market purposes. For InnoWide, you will target. You will already have a product. Maybe it's at MVP stage, or maybe you already make sales. However, you want to target another market, somewhere you haven't explored, and each year that the call is launched, they will target a different area. So those past few years, they targeted the US, Australia, and usually it's not in Europe. The international markets that you will target. So here it's a single application. You say, I want to try to sell my product outside of Europe. I have a few leads, a few potential customers there. Here is the proof that if I ever go to this market, they will want to buy my product. And that's how you receive the funding. So this is the large picture about what is offering Eureka right now. Okay, so let's focus a bit more on the calls, more specifically. So Eurostars is requiring a small collaborative project. 45 countries are eligible. So there are high chances that your country is part of the Eurostars community. So yes, they want technology, they want R&D, and they want SMEs involved. More specifically, the one requirement is to have an SME, small medium enterprise, to lead the project. But besides that, you can have all the entities involved, all kind of entities involved. So research institutes and large companies, etc. So the next deadline is for March. There will be another one in September, and every year there are two cutoffs. Regarding the funding itself, since we discussed at the beginning that Eureka is actually just approving the funding or not, then every country is going to have its own requirements regarding the eligibility and the funding rate that they want to offer, and the funding envelope that they have for this particular cutoff. So, for example, I'm working with currently with a company that is a German SME. They're working on the application for March, and they can receive up to 50% of eligible costs with a maximum funding amount of 500K euros for all German partners per project. One reserve from this is that in Germany there is currently a problem in their budget. They need to divide properly the big envelope of multiple billions of euros. So this is the rule that can be adapted according to the new funding policies that Germany is gonna set up. So this is about Germany. You have also for UK SMEs, for example, the funding is by Innovate UK, 60% of cost for SMEs, up to 360K euros per project. So very nice. Also, if you are a research institute from Swiss, it's InnoSwiss that covers up to 50% of project costs in grants, universities, and R&D institutions. So you see, it depends on the type of organization. The funding conditions will depend on the type of organization that you are representing, and also the country. Maybe sometimes, for example, you can have countries such as the UK that funds SMEs, but decided not to fund their research institute. So that's something very important to check about your eligibility, because it's very nice and very good, very promising to receive the approval at Eureka level, at European level. But then there will be a second evaluation, a second check by the National Funding Authority. And it's important to anticipate about what's going to be next from the beginning, from the initial proposal preparation. So yes, already, if you want to go for one Eureka call, first thing, you need to discuss with your national funding authority to make sure that you are eligible, that the project that you want to achieve fits the scope of activities and the requirements of each particular call to ensure the funding at national level. So it was about Eurostars. ITIA, as I was saying a few minutes earlier, so you can go for lots of different topics, thematics. Smart health is a very attractive one for lots of ITIA participants. Philips, for example, is very good in this. Siemens as well. So ITIA, actually, they will want to see big consortium with big industries. So it's also for SMEs, it's an opportunity to network and to be in touch with the big players in each industry. So yeah, very nice. The deadline. So for this year, it has just passed. It was November for stage 1. The next stage is gonna be for February. So right now you cannot enter, because when it's two-stage application, usually you need to be involved from the stage 1. So if you receive a go at the stage 1, then you can apply for the stage 2. That's what we mean by two-stage application. And Eurostars on the other end is a single application, a single stage application. So here, for example, ITIA, we have Irish SMEs that can receive up to 50% of the funding. Swedish SMEs, it's Vinnova who funds up to 50% of the cost. And if you are an Israeli SME, Israel Innovation Authority proposes a loan between 20 to and 50% of the costs of your project. So that's interesting. Also to mention, sometimes the funding conditions differ from one call to another. So for each call that you will be targeting, you will need to check with your national contact point. Okay, so I know the funding, let's say I know the funding conditions for Israeli SMEs for Eurostars, but what are these funding conditions for ITIA? So they can change, etc. So then we have Celtic-Next about network communications for secured, trusted, sustainable digital society. A single stage application. The call has just been launched. So right now, everybody's is gonna try to create consortium and build projects. So it's very exciting, and the deadline is for May. It's a single stage application, so it means that you will apply with a full proposal at once, and then there will be the evaluation at national level. So two examples for French SMEs. For example, depending on the type of activities that you will do and on the other partners that you're gonna have in the consortium, uh, as well as your resources, capacities, etc. You will have either a grant, a loan under different conditions. So it's very case by case for France. For Vinnova in Sweden, it's not case by case, up to 50% of the costs. But we need to be careful of the maximum funding that they have for each cutoff. Sometimes they can give funding to only 5 or 6 Swedish participants. So good to know before. Okay, last ones, smart. So we discussed about advanced manufacturing and production. Stage 1 is right now. I don't remember if the deadline has passed a few days ago or if it's upcoming. And the next stage is in April, May. Very nice funding opportunity. The first stage is not selective. It's a consulting stage for this one. They will review a short proposal outline that you will prepare with your consortium partners, and they will give you insights about what they think of your project. Is it innovative enough? Is the consortium well balanced? Because they want everybody involved with a good input, etc. So they will have their criterias and give a consulting advice. Then stage 2, you apply with the full proposal, and that's where the selection happens. The actual Eureka selection happens, but then of course there is the selection at national level. Xecs. So this one is about the development of electronic solutions to help drive the digital economy through the formation of collaborative ecosystems along the electronic components and system value chain. So in different industries, mobility, energy, health, etc. So for this project, we are actually gonna apply that I know of one in the automotive industry and one in flood management. So that's very nice. Whenever you can leverage electronic components to make your project better to improve what is currently happening in the industry, that's the good framework. So yes, the first stage just passed a few days ago, and now stage 2 for April. So same, the funding conditions will depend on country and type of organization. Last one, low carbon energy innovations. So two-stage application, lots of cutoffs. So the next one is for March, but even if you miss it, you're gonna have another deadline, maybe 3 to 4 months afterwards. So this is these are the clusters, what Eureka calls each clusters, because dedicated to one specific topic in different industries. So let's have an overview of some successful stories that we had in Argentum. So for example, Jimendel, it was a medtech company. They won Eurostars from Denmark, and they received 500K euros for their project about a non-invasive prenatal screening tool for the detection of genetic disorders powered by AI. So that's interesting. Also, we won a Celtic-Next last year, COA CFD. about cloud-based online access to computational fluid dynamic simulations. They received, the whole consortium received 13 million euros, and even more because they succeeded to extend actually the project. So even though the project was supposed to end, they discussed with the Celtic-Next organizers, and they by adding some additional partners, they were able to increase the length of the project as well as their budget. So that's very nice for Celtic-Next. And another Eurostars that we won for edge computing, for irrigation and energy by DSI, Demand Side Instruments, and they received almost 400k euros. So those are nice fundings for our clients. So now let's give you a brief overview of what we have achieved so far in Argentum. So there are 35 programs, calls that we actively apply to. This means that we are very experienced in it. We have yes, we have applied many times, and we know how the evaluators look. We have received lots of evaluations back, so we can promote projects in the best way. Actually, we have more than 140 calls that we know of and that we can apply to. So even some that are very new come up and goes. So that's interesting. We had a success rate of 44% of success, sorry, between 2021 and 2022. And we are working currently with 33 countries in Europe. So high chances that your country is part of this ecosystem. So Argentum, we are a consulting company, very good in grants. Sometimes we also deal with equity opportunities, but it's very specific. But mostly we are working with grants and yes, money that is free, actually. Yeah. So we have different teams. One is the business development, the one that has organized this webinar, for example. Me, I represent the strategic department, actually. I'm from the team that identifies the calls, understand all of the requirements that we need to fill in, understand the different funding conditions, and responsible also in the consortium and partnership establishments. And then once the project looks prepared, looks good, for the writing process, it goes to the last department of our company, that is the consulting department, where you will have project managers for each project that you're gonna work on. You're gonna have a project manager to support your application, support your writing process. So that's very interesting. We try to, yes, to maximize the funding strategy of your company and optimize your chances of winning money. So we try to identify the best funding opportunities for you at the right time for you, and adapt to your roadmap and your ambitions, your expectations. Um, so you can manage and achieve your projects. Our specialty actually is about multi-submission strategy. So what does it mean? That we're not gonna apply just for one application, but lots are better. because actually the more we apply to grants, the more we get to know your company and what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and how that's by improving the knowledge we can apply better. So we can write better, we can orient the thinking that you have. We can help you with building a business plan. So that's very helpful for many clients, not only in the frame of funding strategies, but also just yes, to help you with the strategy of your company as a whole. Uh, our objective is to apply to different funding sources in order to diversify the funding strategy and maximize the potential the chances of success. And also, something very important is to position you in the European R&D ecosystem. Because as you've seen, Eureka, but also many European calls, they will require groups and consortium, and most of the applications are not single applications. So you sometimes it's very important for the client and to get to know the big players and well, even smaller players, but the right partners for different call opportunities. So yes, the networking is very important, especially in my department. So our methodology, just before ending this webinar, is about having the best funding opportunities for you. You will be aware of the funding rate, budget size, chances of success before applying to every call. We will align our strategic plan with your roadmap and your ambitions, your R&D ambitions. This is for the funding mechanism. For the funding sources, we are always screening, yes, and trying to catch the last funding opportunities that was just released. We are very involved in all of the events that are related to funding applications. We go to networking events and different platforms in order to maximize our knowledge about the funding sources, but then also to maximize our knowledge regarding the different funding opportunities. That last point, it's about the submission procedure that we are managing. So our process is very straightforward. Our methodology is set for a few years now. So the strategist helps you with building your strategy, um, helping you position all the calls that you are that you want to target and you are eligible and you are a good fit for the call. So to position them in a timeline that is good for you. And then, and of course, there is a consultant team to support and drive your writing process until the submission. So here is our team. Nice pictures. So Ishai is the CEO and Odelia is my direct manager, Odelia Chief of Strategy. So here is the business development team. Here is the strategic team. So we are divided by clusters, by topics actually. So me, I'm specialized in AI, digital and industry calls. My colleagues, Caroline, Laura, are in the health industry, so they are experts in those calls. Florence is working on agriculture, food calls, and Ben is working with me on the AI and technologies, as well as climate. That is at stake right now. And here you have, as I introduced, part of the consultant team that is working hard on delivering great applications and yeah, to achieve funding. So this is it. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. Please send us if you have some questions. We would be happy to help with those. Maybe if you send questions right now that I can answer, I will. Else, the business development team can follow up with them. Thank you. I'll wait a couple of minutes.